Now, so I just wanted to do one quick video here on the legendary weekend Terzo Millennio Lamborghini, which has just come into the game. Just a couple of bits and pieces on this one. If you go about the process of spending tokens to try to increase your rewards on this, just keep in mind that the actual rewards for this are very, very low. Yeah, like the 1% and 3% are 200 and 300 tokens. So it would be effectively impossible to try to turn a profit on this one if you're investing in this. So if you're spending tokens on this legendary weekend, it is effectively just to tune up your car and not to actually increase your rewards. By that I mean the fact that if you were to come in the top 1%, you get 300 tokens. So spending a 10 pack of blueprints on that is 750 tokens. You're immediately at 450 deficit, even if you were to come in the top 1%. The top 1 and 3% in these legendary weekends, especially with these rarer cars, has always been an incredibly tight margin. Most of the events like the Senna, even, the top 3% was looking somewhere around 60 to 70 cars. So generally, like, these percentages are near impossible to get unless you're talking about like a 5 or 6 star tuned version of the car. If you don't have the Terzo right now and you're just barely going to be unlocking it, you're talking about filling in the ranks here in the 50 to 100%. So just keep in mind that like you are looking at getting back around 75 tokens if you do quite well in this, if you just unlock it. Now, regarding spending tokens, that was another thing that I wanted to point out about this, just in case players weren't aware. Yeah, you obviously have your packs here in the shop. There are 750 tokens for the 10 pack. Now, the one thing to keep in mind though, if you are going to go down that route, is that you won't see this immediately in your store, but the Terzo Millennio isn't a unique to events cars. And by that I mean, if you actually have a level 18 garage, the Legend store gets Terzo blueprints once at least a day, sometimes twice a day. You'll see Terzo blueprints inside here for 7,000 trade coins. And yeah, it's one of the less expensive ways of getting that quest reward done for the buy an item from the legendary store, is actually for a level 18 garage to be buying these blueprints, just because, like I said, there is at least one of those in there every day. You can also get Koenigsegg Regera ones for credits, and Bugatti Chiron at level 18, but Bugatti Chiron are limited to about one appearance every maybe 2 weeks for credits. You see them quite frequently for tokens, but yeah, the legendary store has blueprints for that car. So I said I'd just bring it to attention in case anyone was thinking that, oh, if you miss out on it this legendary weekend, that you'll be missing it altogether. No, that's a car that, like I said, you can get here from the Legend Store trade coins. I would say free of charge, but yeah, it's a bit of a grind to obviously unlock it that way. But don't be too upset if you're, just missing out on it by a few blueprints. Once you get your garage level up to level 18, you'll be able to get those for free effectively that way. As for if you want to actually acquire this car, as in its usefulness towards multiplayer racing or towards doing expert races, it's not exactly a standout car by any means. It's nice to look at, like it's an amazing concept car design, and it is quite capable. However, like say my car here is just 1 or 2 upgrades added on after the 4th star. So that's effectively a 4th star version of the tuning. And you see like the top speed of 387 is pretty good, but there are actually quite a few top speed cars which are far higher than that, which are freely available as free-to-play cars. The acceleration is tremendous and the handling's not bad, but say like where the 387 top speed is good, it'll dwarf something like the Senna. But yeah, obviously the slight handling difference there with the Senna, where that thing is kind of got all of its stat weights too. Yeah, so you talk about 387 top speed versus something like it's effectively 5-star version of the Trion Nemesis there. Like, it's completely dwarfed by that. And the Trion is a car which is completely free to play. Again, when I say 5-star, I mean that is at 6 stars, but it hasn't received a single tuning upgrade since unlocking that 6-star with that car. Just for the sake of, I use those sparingly just to get the tuning and import part dailies, because yeah, that's something that becomes a pain later on in the upgrading stages of your garage. But yeah, the Terzo itself, say at 4 stars, it's not a bad car, but it is a very difficult car to drive. It's not an easy beginner car. especially with that handling of 49. You take this into multiplayer and get shunted a small bit, you will never get that car up to top speed. You really need to get away from people because it doesn't have the burst nitro of something like the Senna, where you can actually just like blast it up to top speed. And yeah, definitely, while the acceleration is high, the handling is in such a state that, like, realistically, unless you're free to roam on a track, you will have trouble probably getting that car up to top speed. Not bad if you're a capable driver, definitely, but if you are, you'll probably have better cars in your garage already than it. So just from a beginner point of view, I would say it's probably not one to chase down with too many tokens. Like, again, exceptionally pretty car to have in your garage. It's gorgeous looking. Admittedly, it's one that suffers really weirdly from the removed rims bug because it makes most of the car transparent. But yeah, that is like, it's a very nice futuristic looking electric car with its self-healing properties, which is weird, but it is actually something where it uses the energy that it generates from its electric motor to try and repair damage done to the wheels of the car. Crazy Lamborghini concept cars. But yeah, again, I just said I would point out this is definitely not one for a beginner racer. Don't take that to mean the fact that by any means that this car is not capable on the track. It absolutely is. It's just a case of there are other cars that are more freely available, like I said, that have a higher top speed of it, and definitely that have easier handling. As you see, it's really, really weird turning circle there and shaving off the speed. Like, yeah, nobody's business. But like around here on the Scotland's track, even with the smallest amount of bumps and like stuff, you see the fact that it just shaves off that speed. It's very difficult to actually get the car up to, yeah, like its top speed without actually even anyone else on the track. But once you get it, yeah, up to the top speed, yay, 240 miles an hour in a cruising speed. Quite an awesome piece of kit. Again, like, doesn't have the nitro ability of something like the Senna, doesn't have the top speed of something like the Nemesis, but yeah, it's definitely not a car that you could like say is bad. It's just that there are better cars than it in pretty much all the fields. Again, like, top speed, 240 miles an hour, really, really nice, and it's really enjoyable to drive when you have the track to yourself. But it's just such a wide body, you will find yourself getting into trouble by other racers. In multiplayer especially, it's quite a wide car. So anytime that I've taken this into thing, it's frail enough as well. Nice carbon fiber body to explode in the track. But yeah, like 240 miles per hour, you can see it has like trouble on ramps and stuff like that, as most supercars would really. But at the same time, like, once you get it up to the 240, it's cool. Again, the Triumph Nemesis is a free-to-play car. Has way higher in the top speed category than that. And yeah, that nitro ability running out there before even getting to the ramp set. Just, yeah, like I said, not a bad car in the slightest, but definitely not a beginner car. And keep in mind that this is the way this car handles around this track at the 4-star rating. This isn't upgraded to the 5th star as I actually have it, but yeah, it's like not bad, but definitely I would say not a beginner car, not a multiplayer like specialist, capable of well easily of, like, I'd say 2 and 3 stars of doing the majority of the expert races, definitely, if you're still looking for a car to do those for the club. But like I said, just yeah, with blueprints kind of freely available elsewhere in the game, it might be an idea to kind of look for them that way if you're saving up tokens and stuff. Definitely when it has the top speed of 240, like, it is not exactly a king of speed. Across some dirt. Not the king of handling, not the king of nitro. But yeah, it's like, it is a fairly nice S-Class car. It's just definitely not one that's going to be like a make or break to any person's garage. And again, just when it comes to fear of missing out, don't worry about this one too much in terms of actually like not getting this car in this event. Like I said, if you're in a position where you want to keep onto those tokens, but you are close to bringing your garage up to the level 18, or you will be looking at that at some point, obviously. because you'll get that from just tuning up other cars. Yeah, this is one that will appear in the Legend store for all players as you're playing through for just trade tokens, and you'll get about 1 or 2 blueprints for this per day if you have trade coins coming in from other events. As I eat some hedge. So, back in the garage and looking at this car, and yeah, just said I would give some thoughts on this one, just in case anyone thought that like the car wasn't going to be available in other methods. That's why I said I'd point out that you can definitely get blueprints for it freely every day in the Legend store, just as long as your garage is actually upgraded to a higher level. And like, it's a nice car to have, but definitely you can see there on the track that it's not the fastest speed. It's definitely not the fastest in the acceleration category. Handling, oh lord no. And nitro, it just doesn't have that sustained nitro that some of the other S-Class cars have even. Definitely not going to hang in the nitro state the same as something like a Senna. But whereas, yeah, this one's got the top speed of about 25 miles an hour faster than the Senna. But when it comes to top speed, and you've got things like the Triumph Nemesis, which are, yeah, substantially faster than this. And again, it's that's a free-to-play completely car, which can be just grinded out in blueprints over a long period of time. Whereas the Terzo will cost trade coins and need a bit more jumping through hoops to be able to actually get that inside your Legend store. But I said I just wanted to give this one a look. Again, if you've got the token spare and you just want to get the car unlocked, or if you had some of the blueprints from a previous event, because it was available previously in the game, yeah, it's not a bad car to have. It's definitely a pretty car. And if you want to drive yourself a concept car, which was the sequel to the Lamborghini Egoista in terms of their concept cars, like Lamborghinis look at sports cars of the future, that's definitely what this was as a concept car. And I think it was like 100 million to develop the concept car alone. So it's definitely something that, like, this game will be probably the only chance you will ever get to drive something that's crazy like that. Because, yeah, it is a cool kind of Batmobile-ish looking sports car of the future. Weirdly enough, the real car, the actual 4 engines to it are mounted in each one of the wheels. So I guess my version of the car technically has no motors. Oh well, whoopsie daisy. Yeah, because that glitch still exists. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick overview on this car, and yeah, just give people a heads up on, like I said, other ways of possibly getting access to it. And yeah, just if you're going for that event again in this, keep in mind that limited enough number of people who'd have this car, and even more limited normally in terms of the people who take part in this. So again, like the Senna Legendary Weekend, you were looking at needing to be in the top of what, 60 to get into the top 3%. So realistically, if you're going to be just unlocking this car, keep in mind there'll be people like myself who have this one from previous events, or we'll have it at 5 and 6 stars, and yeah, you'll be in competing against that. So realistically, if you're just looking at unlocking this, you may not be looking at getting high rewards for it. Definitely don't be thinking of getting epic import parts for it unless you're an exceptionally good driver, in which case I'll tip the hat to you, because I probably won't get into the top 3% in this, even with my car, because normally that bracket is really, really small. As always, guys, there's a sub button up there over my head. It really helps out my channel. And yeah, like, I cover all videos to do with Asphalt 9, be it the event videos, cars, and the multiplayer live streams that I'm trying to do slightly more of now with the community. Over there is my Indie or Audi series, where I take a review and have a bit of fun with smaller indie games. The most recent one was Valentina, a hilariously mistranslated game on Nintendo Switch. And at this side is something that YouTube thinks that you like from my channel. It'll probably be Asphalt related if you're watching this video. As always, guys, drive safe and take care. Good luck with getting this car if you are opening some packs for it.